Hello YouTube, this is the Nerdy Tribunal. I'm joined with Ernest, Victor, and Tom. I'm Derek. I was hoping you guys would all start off like this and whatever. I tried. I totally forgot to mention it.
No, that was weird. Like, just look, you guys are like dying. Just
I don't know.
Swag.
As you may or may not know, this was very. We all wanted to do that just because we want to talk about the Black Panther movie today.
Wakanda Forever.
So obviously, huge spoilers if you haven't watched it yet.
So they've watched it. It's almost $1 billion. Someone put money into it.
Yeah. So. Like, if you guys haven't watched it yet, go watch it and then come back and watch our video. But let's get things started. Did you guys like it? Like, at all? Like, right now, how much you said is worth 900?
It's almost a 900 million.
Okay, it's made $900 million as of today, I guess, right?
897, I think.
Yeah, and today's March.
What, 3 weeks?
3 weeks? So it's March,
so
whatever date
almost
today is. So first week of March, right? 3 weeks.
Just a little bit of money.
It's a little bit, chump change, right? Like,
who doesn't have $100 billion?
Yeah, like, not 100 billion, $100
million.
Sorry,
who doesn't have $1
billion? Anyways, it's a substantial amount, and to put it in perspective, I believe there's a graphic that was released, probably a while ago, that Marvel's total box office numbers for all their movies was about 14 billion
altogether. Yes.
Altogether, that's from Iron Man.
18 movies since 2008.
Yeah, so of all those movies combined, about, let's say round it up generously to 15 billion, right? We're almost at 1 billion, the 1 billion mark 3 weeks in. So, like, just put it in perspective, Black Panther is a huge hit. Question is, and this question I want to ask you guys is it that big of a hit? Was it that good? Is the $900 million over 3 weeks good? And as one you guys this is about thing, I'll just start it off, you guys can think about it. Like, when I finished the movie, I wasn't sure why I liked it. I really didn't. And then after a couple of weeks of being able to digest it, I was able to speak to a friend yesterday that watched it on Saturday. And he didn't really love it. He didn't hate it, but he didn't love it. And I'm like, that's similar to a feeling I had. And I couldn't figure out why. And then in comparison, looking back at this year, we had, from Marvel, we had Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2, and Thor, Ragnarok, right?
And I guess Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homecoming. So I'll throw that in there too. I at that point, I didn't really think about that. But it was interesting because Thor, like, Guardians of the Galaxy was like, okay, like it was good. It had its quirks. It was kind of funny. But then Thor Ragnarok, to me, was probably the best comparator in terms of why I liked it. Why I felt Black Panther wasn't good, because Thor was like this. It was a roller coaster ride. Okay, let's say if I gave it the average rating of like 75 out of 100 for Thor Ragnarok, it fluctuated. There were some good moments that went over 80 and then went below down to 60, and then just go up and down. So when you average out 75, right? Whereas Black Panther, I would give it like, let's say I gave the same score 7.5, 75 out of 100. It was 75 flatline. That's why I felt, and that's why maybe I feel so good, because there's no ups and downs, right? It just felt like, oh, so good. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Like, it's just like I couldn't say, wow, this part's so good, or wow, this part was iffy. I just didn't have those kind of moments. And I think when I walked out, I just felt like I didn't go through a roller coaster ride. It was a good movie. I just didn't go through a roller coaster ride.
I think I've seen it twice.
Yeah. The
first time I enjoyed it, and I was in the same boat. I was like, I don't know why I like it so much. Maybe it's because I love Marvel, but at the same time, it's like you said, Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. You can you know why you like it. Mm-hmm. Immediately, you're like, it was so funny. Mm-hmm. These characters were hilarious. These characters, like, it was just a great action movie. Yeah, that's what it was. And also because it's at that time Thor, it's the third one. You've seen Thor multiple times. Black Panther, this is a origin story, and it's. You see that as comic book movie, superhero movie, Marvel movie, you expect action. This is not really an action movie to the level of Avengers or Thor. The movie has a message. It's well done. It's very visually appealing. Very visually appealing. The characters were great. All the characters. Like, there was no character in the movie that I didn't like. Right? Like, the villain was there. You leave the theater thinking that I could be on the same side as the villain or the hero, and there's this weird middle ground. So there's people you can connect to.
The way I see it is that they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Right. So
no one's really the good guy here. No one's
really a bad guy.
There is a bad guy, but
you can see why he
is bad.
Yeah, you can also see why he's doing it because he thinks to him it's good. Right.
He was the extreme version of what is life, right? He went through certain things in his life, but he went to the extreme, and that's why he was quote unquote bad.
Yeah. Like he might have been just a regular gangster, like at the end of the day, but because he like just the storyline told he went to special ops in the army and became this like super like undercover crew, like SWAT crew. I don't know what the words I'm looking for, but like those became this like special ops, right? Like it just made the story like you can say it was kind of cheating, but it's comic books. That's what happens to characters, right? Like
but the thing is, he wanted to do something good, but he did it in a bad way.
Went about the wrong way.
It's like good intentions but wrong methods.
Yeah.
T'Challa became the king, and if he was king originally, none of this would have happened. It's just the mistakes from the previous government, I guess, or previous powers that were dealing with all these issues, right? So it's these characters you can connect to in a certain extent, and it is a very powerful movie, especially in the U.S.
Yeah, the current climate, cultural climate in the U.S. It's a nice. I think it's like it sends a good message.
It's very comparable to Wonder Woman in the sense of this one is great for the African American community, and then Wonder Woman was great for women. Powerful women, right? Yeah. So I think that's why it was even more successful domestically. Because you look at a lot of movies these days, domestically it doesn't really make as much compared to internationally. Yeah. But why did these two make so much? Is because of the powerful message. So I think and it was well written.
I think it was perfectly written.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of storyline, I did more of a direct comparison to Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It had that same kind of feel to it, where it's like a political thriller, and it had that. It wasn't like ups and downs, but it was just a solid movie throughout.
Yeah.
But to me, I think two things kind of stood out to why it's such a good movie. First is, I think all the characters in the movie was relatable in one way or another. So if you actually put yourself in the shoes of each character, you can find out like, okay, this makes sense for why they're doing this. But even like down to a minimal character like whoever's boyfriend, the Rhino guy.
Wakabi.
Yeah, like even like he wasn't seen as a major character, but you can understand why he would side with Killmonger, and go against in direct comparison to his girlfriend, right?
Like some people might say like, okay, that's a simple writing, like you made like these characters have no depth, but it's needed. Like we needed that because like this is a comic book movie. This is not like some sort of like a novel, like a really well written novel. It's a comic book. Ideas, characters are technically simple, but I felt like, as you said, like every character is relatable.
Yeah, like you could be in the shoes of any one of them.
And that's the purpose of comics, right? Stan Lee has I think so time and time again, like you want these characters to be people that you could relate with and escape into, right?
And that's what a lot of Marvel characters are, as a general, not just the ones you see in the movies, where they're humans trying to be heroes or gods, essentially.
Or gods trying to be human, right?
And I think that's why you look at, and I don't want to keep talking about this, where it's DC, why a lot of people you don't get a lot of this kind of reaction to a movie compared to some of these newer Marvel movies where it's gods trying to be human. We can't relate to that.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, back to my second point.
Yeah, sorry.
Why I think it did so well is because just like for me, The Punisher, you can take away the Marvel title, and it's just a great movie overall.
Yeah.
Like you can just take away the whole comic book aspect, and it'll just be a great movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it stands so strong, and it's so relatable, and it's so good that people want to watch it. Because even if you're not a comic book fan, you can sit in there and enjoy this movie throughout the movie, and you don't have to know anything from the past or what happened in previous movies. Like you don't need to know what happened in Civil War to enjoy this movie fully.
Yeah.
And I think that's why earlier Marvel movies, other than let's say the first Iron Man or what's one of the actually a lot of the earlier Phase 1 movies aren't so widely loved compared to the Phase 3 ones or even Phase 2.
Yeah.
Because they kind of benefited with the Marvel Studios nameplate.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Panther, yeah, like you said, if you took it out, took Marvel out of the name, people would probably enjoy it because it was well written, well done. Right?
Yeah, because with the first set of movies from Marvel, you have to kind of have some kind of background to get the full experience. Where in this case, you don't have to, and you embrace the experience, and it was good.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think it definitely has that to benefit, but like we have the thing is, okay, the one thing I wanted to talk about was actually, wait, Ernest, did you want to add anything to what do you like? No, other than sorry, I didn't mean I totally didn't.
No, we're good.
Strong message, right? I think the movie delivered a strong message, and that's why it's powerful in a way. It gives you a lot of conflict in the movie. If you put yourself into another person's shoe, or even the villain per se, then you kind of contradict to what is right, what is wrong.
Yeah, it's not so clear cut, right?
Yeah, because like T'Challa's father has also done something wrong as well.
Yeah.
So
He's
when you're thinking about it both sides, there's no really right or wrong. It's just I guess Chadwick Boseman's character T'Challa is more of the right way of doing things.
Yeah.
So I agree with Victor and Tom as well.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Like we talked about, it has a message, and it's really good for the current political and cultural climate in the United States. And let's be real about this. When we talk about domestic release, most of that money comes from the United States, not Canada, or I guess Mexico doesn't count, do they?
I don't think so.
Do they count in the
Domestic usually means the
just
United States.
the United States and Canada, maybe?
I can't remember if Canada.
I
I
don't
think
even
that's,
know they include Canada.
Yeah, we don't count.
it's mainly US. And
Yeah, mainly. So
regardless.
like is its popularity? I can't think of the right word here, but amplified because of the current social issues and just the timing came out, right? Like,
It's
the
timing.
This came out like 4 years ago, where it's not as bad, I guess. I don't know if the social
It wasn't to the level of crazy that it is now.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
I think it's because after Obama was president, it kind of changed everything in America.
Real hard.
So going from a black African American president to a white president, it kind of just flipped everything on its head.
Yeah, like
so they kind of need. This is kind of like, I guess, a rally call to kind of bring them together, because
I think it became that. I don't think it was meant to be like that.
Yeah,
I don't.
No, it just became that because it was just it came out at the right time.
Yeah,
it was all by accident too. Not because Marvel didn't they announced that they were releasing Black Panther around this time.
Yeah,
this is before the presidency was changed.
Yeah, this was announced ages ago before presidency
so
changed.
it's just really good timing.
Yeah. So now I have to ask you a question. The same question again. Is it $900 million over 3 weeks good? Was that movie this good? Because
a lot of these Marvel movies, and we're talking about Phase 3. This is a Phase 3 movie. A lot of them can potentially make close to that, because Thor made very close to that, right? I think it's about 700-800.
Yeah,
total.
So, they have the potential of doing that. This one, a lot of people are also saying this is the first black superhero movie, but
it's technically not.
Technically not.
Technically.
You had 1999, it was Blade.
Yep.
Right.
I don't think he was even the first, technically speaking. I can't
At least in big.
Mainstream.
Yeah, we're talking about comic book. I guess
movies.
I believe Blade would have been the most earliest one that at least we would have affected any recent generation, right? But, there might be one further back. I don't know, unfortunately.
But remember back in those days, superheroes were not.
I know one.
Superhero movies were not as big back then, and also Blade wasn't really advertised as a Marvel superhero. People didn't really know Marvel in that way.
I thought Blade was more like a vampire thing.
He was a vampire thing. I didn't realize until I grew up that Blade was part of Marvel.
Yeah, and it came out when vampires was like the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
So people don't remember that, and a lot of kids, especially these days, that was 19 years ago. So a lot of kids now
don't even know who Blade is.
really know
If they
Blade.
brought Blade out and they didn't put the Marvel Studios or whoever, like, characters of that kind of caliber or that tiering, like, people would just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is a Vampire Hunter movie.
So this one
Van Helsing, but modern or something like that, right?
This one was, in a way, the first, I guess, of this generation. So
it's also because it was a mainly black cast. It wasn't like, because you would Blade, he's the main hero, but he's surrounded by
there were
people.
2 non-black actors in
token white guys.
Yeah,
2 main actors,
and we're the token white guys. Literally,
Tolkien
Schmeagol, guy that plays Schmeagol, the voice, and even think the face facial effects.
Yeah,
and
Bilbo. No, it's
he was the Hobbit.
It was Bilbo. Yeah.
It was Bilbo
Baggins
and Martin Freeman, right?
Yeah.
Martin Freeman.
Freeman.
Sherlock, right? Like Sherlock. Sorry, Watson in Sherlock. Yeah.
BBC.
So like, they're the only 2 guys, and they play like their integral roles, but everyone else was African American descent of some sort, and it was like, I don't know how to put it. Say it like it was. There was it. It just fit really well. And then it sounds stupid because it's Wakanda, they're in Africa. Obviously, everyone should be black, but it just worked even better. Like, just the acting was so good from everyone. It just worked even better than. I can't speak for the accents because A, Wakanda's not a real place, and B, if their accents related to any actual tribes of Africa. It is, but like, I don't know how well they did. Like, there's no way.
No reference.
So that could be insulting to certain tribes if they didn't do it properly.
I think the good thing about
but for a regular viewer, like, I thought it was very, very well. Like, they made it good. It wasn't just because they found an all black cast or like an all like culturally appropriate cast. It's because the actors themselves did great.
Like, it's like what Tom said, right? It's because Marvel movies been like so long now, right? They're gonna have that drawing power regardless. But it's the fact that everybody hopped on the train of the whole message. Like, you see, like, Will Smith making videos about it. Oprah was like down with it.
That helped it a lot.
Obamas were down, right? So it's like it added to it. And people are like, oh, if these people are like behind it, like, I gotta go watch it and check it out, right?
It's so many things. It's not even. It's the mainly all black cast, which all great actors, like really good actors. You didn't have a problem there, and then you had amazing soundtrack.
Soundtrack was pretty baller.
Kendrick Lamar, and it was well done.
And I loved it wasn't just all Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we had a lot of other music of other, I presume, African cultures tied into it. And like, that part made it cool. Like, whether it's traditional, like actual traditional or not, I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert.
But when you hear the music, you're like, oh, okay, this, like, it could resemble.
This is something, someone did some research. No one just like went on their Apple and just went, do, I got music, right? Like, because that happens nowadays.
It's just, the whole movie is just well done in every aspect, and it's it does help, honestly, with the the message of how the whole Oscars where everything's being whitewashed.
Yep.
And then there's also the whole
definitely
down in
that.
the States with African Americans, and so it's just but it's not even a Black Panther movie if you think about it. It was not all about him.
Yeah.
So
that was actually my one complaint, and I don't think, if I had to make one complaint, I wish it showed T'Challa more. However, it makes sense because they have to introduce Wakanda, because Wakanda is going to be a very important place in the Infinity War movie. Like, the first movie is basically, I'm going to presume, like 60% of it is going to be all in Wakanda. So if I had no clue where Wakanda was and didn't know anything about it and the people in it, it would have been made Infinity Wars kind of crappy. It's like, where the hell are they? What's happening,
right?
Adds
to it for sure. So.
It definitely adds to it. So we're going to wrap this up. However, I still want someone to answer. Is it worth what it is? Is it that good? I'm going to say...
I will never be able to answer that.
I'm going to say...
Let us know in the comments below.
Let us know in the comments below if you actually think it deserves the hype and the actual money it's earned. Because I'm very interested. Because I'm gonna say, so you can yell at me or not. Please actually yell at me. That means more comments on the bottom. But I don't think it's actually worth $100 million. It's a great movie. I think it benefited from the timing it came out and the hype around it. Do I think it should be like significantly less? No. $900 million after 3 weeks is ludicrous to me. That's just insane.
Star Wars money right there.
Yeah, like this is one movie, not Star Wars franchise. This is not The Force Awakens, right? Like, or whatever the first one was with Daisy Ray, whatever her name is. Daisy.
The Force Awakens. Yeah.
Daisy.
Daisy Ridley.
Ridley, that's right. Daisy Ridley. Like, that's different, right? That has
Star Wars
30 years like plus of like fandom to build off of. This doesn't, right? So to me, no, it's not worth that. It's probably worth about 700 million realistically, right? But anyways, let us know what you guys think down below. All right, if you guys think it's a good movie, bad movie. I don't know. Oh yeah, I meant to mention this. I don't care if this video runs a little bit longer. First black superhero would have been Shazam with Shaq.
No one remembers that.
Shut up. He's number one. Okay.
No, actually no.
Which one?
Meteor Man.
Who the hell's Meteor Man?
Look it up.
No, you guys look it up. Wait.
How about Don Cheadle's Planet?
Captain Planet. Oh my god.
Not the first though.
Not the first, and that was made way later. Anyways, correct us if we're wrong, because we're likely wrong. Like our video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, and thanks for joining us today.
Shaft is in everything. On a plane, with an eye patch. What else is he in?